Imagine being stalked by a 60-foot shark with teeth the size of your hand, crushing bite force that could crumple a car like paper. Now, imagine something worse. Something with teeth twice as long, a brain 10 times larger, and the ability to hunt in coordinated packs while using echolocation to track you in complete darkness. What if I told you that Megalodon, the legendary super shark everyone fears, was actually running scared from something else in those ancient oceans? Today, you'll discover 3 game-changing revelations. First, why Megalodon's biggest teeth were found embedded in the bones of its killer. Second, how fossil evidence proves these creatures hunted megalodons like wolves hunt deer. And third, the terrifying reason why having the biggest bite doesn't make you the deadliest predator. What scientists just discovered in Peru will change everything you thought you knew about prehistoric ocean terror. This is the story of a creature so devastating, so intelligently brutal, that it turned Earth's most famous predator into prey. Picture this. It's 12 million years ago in the Miocene Ocean. You're floating in warm tropical waters when a shadow passes beneath. But it's not the torpedo shape you'd expect from a shark. It's bulbous, massive, moving with a disturbing intelligence. The water vibrates with clicking sounds that seem to come from everywhere at once. This is Livyatan Melvillei, named after the biblical sea monster Leviathan and Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick. But here's where it gets crazy. While Megalodon maxed out at 60 feet, Livyatan reached similar lengths with one terrifying difference. It wasn't a simple eating machine. It was a tactical genius with sonar capabilities. To put this in perspective, imagine a modern sperm whale, already the largest toothed predator on Earth. Now replace those small bottom teeth with daggers. The largest teeth ever discovered from any creature, land or sea, belong to Livyatan. We're talking 14.5 inches of curved death. That's longer than a T-Rex tooth, longer than a megalodon tooth, longer than your forearm. But here's where it gets really crazy. Unlike Megalodon's flat cutting teeth designed for slicing, Livyatan's teeth were thick, deeply rooted spears designed for one thing: piercing deep into flesh and holding on while its prey drowned. Here's a fact that will surprise even prehistoric creature enthusiasts. Livyatan was only officially discovered in 2008. For decades, paleontologists had been finding massive whale teeth, but dismissing them as sperm whale fossils. It wasn't until a nearly complete skull was found in Peru's Pisco Formation that scientists realized they'd been overlooking one of history's most terrifying predators. The skull measured 10 feet long. That's just the skull, with jaws that could open wide enough to swallow you whole while you're sitting in your car. Unlike modern sperm whales that primarily eat squid with their suction-feeding technique, Livyatan's skull structure proves it was built for something else entirely: hunting other whales and sharks, especially sharks. Let's talk bite force. You've probably heard Megalodon had the strongest bite ever recorded, up to 40,000 pounds per square inch. Devastating, right? But bite force alone doesn't make you the apex predator. A hippo has a stronger bite than a lion, but you know which one rules the savannah. Leviathan's bite was only 30,000 psi, but here's the game changer. Those 14-inch teeth concentrated all that force into needle-sharp points. While Megalodon needed multiple bites to kill large prey, like a chainsaw cutting through wood, Leviathan struck like a sledgehammer driving railroad spikes. One bite to the spine or skull of another whale, game over. Speed? This is where things get interesting. Megalodon, despite Hollywood depictions, probably maxed out at 11 miles per hour. Fast for its size, but hardly lightning. Leviathan? Modern sperm whales can burst up to 23 miles per hour, and Leviathan's more streamlined tail suggests even greater speed. Imagine being chased by a school bus that can outrun you while swimming. But the most terrifying adaptation? Echolocation. While Megalodon relied on vibrations and smell, Leviathan could see in complete darkness using biological sonar. In the deep ocean where sunlight doesn't penetrate, Megalodon was fighting blind, while Leviathan had natural night vision goggles. To put this in perspective, it's like a heavyweight boxer fighting a Navy SEAL who has thermal imaging, superior tactics, and backup on speed dial. Scientists used to think ancient whales were gentle giants like their modern cousins, but new evidence shows Livyatan exhibited something terrifying: cooperative pack hunting. Fossil sites in Peru show multiple Livyatan specimens of different ages found together, evidence of pod behavior. But here's the kicker: these weren't family reunions. Tooth marks on prey fossils show attack patterns from multiple angles, suggesting coordinated strikes. Let me paint you a picture of how they hunted. The pod spreads out, using echolocation to create a sonar net no prey can hide from. They identify a target, maybe a juvenile megalodon separated from deeper waters. The adults coordinate using complex vocalizations we can only imagine, like orcas but with supernatural intelligence. They force the shark toward the surface, cutting off escape routes. Then the matriarch strikes, those 14-inch teeth punching through cartilage like it's paper, targeting the spine for instant paralysis. But that's not even the most disturbing part. Livyatan fossils show wear patterns on teeth consistent with crunching through bone, not just flesh. They weren't just killing megalodons, they were eating them, bones and all. In a fight between Megalodon and Leviathan, who wins? Computer models from the University of Zurich ran 1,000 simulated encounters based on fossil evidence. The results will shock you. One-on-one in open water, Leviathan wins 73% of the time. In shallow water, Megalodon wins 64% of the time. Pod of Leviathan versus single Megalodon, 100% Leviathan victory. Why? Intelligence trumps size. Leviathan could outmaneuver, outthink, and outlast Megalodon. It's like comparing a grizzly bear to a human hunter with tools and strategy. But here's what really proves Leviathan's dominance. Fossil evidence from Peru shows Megalodon teeth embedded in Leviathan bones that healed over. This whale survived Megalodon attacks. Meanwhile, young Megalodon fossils found with Leviathan tooth punctures show no healing. They didn't survive those encounters. What did Leviathan hunt besides Megalodon? Everything. Fossil sites reveal prehistoric baleen whales up to 30 feet long, giant sea turtles the size of Volkswagens, other marine mammals including early seals and dolphins, even other predatory whales. The food chain wasn't a pyramid with Megalodon on top. It was a throne with Leviathan wearing the crown. Here's where science hits a wall. Leviathan vanished from the fossil record around 8.9 million years ago, roughly 6 million years before Megalodon went extinct. If Leviathan was so dominant, what killed it? Theory 1. Climate change. As oceans cooled, the large whales Leviathan hunted migrated to polar regions. But this doesn't explain why Leviathan couldn't adapt like modern sperm whales. Theory 2, the disturbing one. Some paleontologists suggest Leviathan was too successful. It hunted its prey to near extinction, then starved. But new evidence suggests something darker. In 2019, researchers found Livyatan teeth with stress markers indicating starvation, but surrounded by abundant prey fossils. The leading theory? These apex predators turned on each other. Cannibalism, the ultimate predator becoming its own worst enemy. But that's not even the most controversial part. 3 Livyatan skulls found in Peru show damage consistent with sonar attacks, burst eardrums and cranial fractures from inside out. Were they weaponizing their echolocation, developing biological sonic weapons that could liquefy organs? We may never know, but one thing's certain, something that terrifying doesn't just disappear without leaving scars on the ecosystem. But here's the revelation that changes everything. Remember those healed Megalodon bites on Livyatan fossils? DNA analysis of the bone growth reveals something shocking: accelerated healing rates beyond any modern mammal. These whales weren't just surviving Megalodon attacks, they were regenerating. Dr. Maria Santos from the Universidad de Lima discovered proteins in Livyatan bone samples similar to those found in animals capable of tissue regeneration. It's as if evolution created the perfect predator, then gave it a healing factor for good measure. But that's not even the most terrifying part. If this creature existed today, nowhere in the ocean would be safe. Modern nuclear submarines operate at depths of 800 feet. Livyatan hunted at depths exceeding 3,000 feet. Its echolocation was powerful enough to stun prey. Imagine sonar pings that could short-circuit submarine electronics or disorient human divers from miles away. A pod of Livyatan could systematically hunt blue whales to extinction within decades. Our shipping lanes would become death traps. Oil rigs would be toppled like toys. The ocean economy would collapse overnight. But that's not even the most terrifying scenario. What if they're not extinct? We've explored less than 20% of Earth's oceans. In 2023, researchers discovered living coelacanths, fish thought extinct for 66 million years. If something as large as Livyatan survived in deep ocean trenches, evolved to avoid human detection, those mysterious submarine disappearances, inexplicable sonar contacts moving at impossible speeds, whale carcasses washing ashore with wounds no modern predator could inflict? Maybe Megalodon isn't extinct either. Maybe it's just hiding from something worse. Why does Livyatan matter to our understanding of evolution? It proves intelligence, not size, determines apex predator status. It shows evolution can create super predators that transcend their ecological niche. Modern conservation takes notes. Removing apex predators doesn't create balance. It creates opportunities for something worse. When we hunted wolves near extinction, coyote populations exploded. When we eliminate sharks, invasive species destroy reefs. Livyatan's extinction might have saved humanity. Its disappearance allowed baleen whales to flourish, which stabilized ocean ecosystems, which regulated climate patterns that enabled human evolution. We exist because the ultimate predator died. But evolution doesn't stop. Right now, in our warming oceans, similar conditions exist to those that created Livyatan. Orcas are showing new hunting behaviors. Sperm whales are forming larger, more aggressive pods. The stage is set for Livyatan 2.0. Other extinct terrors worth investigating. Dunkel osteus, the armored fish with hydraulic jaws. Helicoprion, the boz-saw-toothed shark. Ledisith, the whale-sized fish that fed Livyatan. Basilosaurus, the serpent whale that preceded Livyatan. Each reveals how nature creates monsters beyond imagination. Let's recap the nightmare. A 60-foot whale with 14-inch teeth, pack-hunting intelligence, biological sonar weapons, and possible regeneration abilities that turned history's most feared shark into a snack. A predator so perfectly lethal that it might have hunted itself to extinction rather than face decline. Megalodon was a killer, but Leviathan? Leviathan was an apex strategist, the difference between a sword and a guided missile. Here's the thought that should keep you awake. Nature has proven it can create the perfect predator. In stable conditions, with abundant prey and evolutionary pressure, what stops it from happening again? Question for the comments: could humans have survived alongside Leviathan, or would we never have evolved past coastal apes, forever trapped on land by titans lurking offshore? Next week, we're diving into something even more disturbing: the creature Leviathan itself feared. Yes, there's fossil evidence of Leviathan pods fleeing from something big enough to scare a whale that ate Megalodon. Subscribe if you dare to meet the true emperor of the ancient oceans.